Time's up. Let's do this.
Hello, very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Babael here. Joining me today is Katips. We bring you the legends from HearthstoneSEA. First time we're streaming here and the HearthstoneSEA official channel. So really excited and proud to be here. Of course, we're going to be showcasing a Southeast Asian Legends Invitational. And Katips, how are you feeling, man?
I'm doing good. It's a bright afternoon Saturday, and we're back again. We're playing Hearthstone again. Quite excited as usual, supporting our Southeast Asian brothers and sisters. How are you doing today, man?
I'm doing really good. I really like the fact that this is a Legends tournament and it really just reaches out to the top of our community, the best ever. Arguably, these players are the top 0.5% in the world, but of course they are the top few players as well in Southeast Asia. I've seen some really good names inside, and I think we have with us a first game. It is actually halfway, so we're gonna have to jump in straight up. But it's directly between Emiya as well as the LightBringer, both of which are Legends play in their own right. So without further ado, let's go in.
Yeah, that's right. So we are seeing LightBringer playing what looks like a control paladin with Spellbreaker and Tyrion Fordring, and of course our favorite Sludge Belchers. Emiya probably playing Death Rattle Priest, one of the more... These are two of the more pretty much popular decks after the Hunter nerf in this season, and they are pretty strong on the ladder, and they are pretty strong in competition. You're seeing a lot of play from both of these decks pretty much everywhere. These are two of the most powerful decks at the moment. So how do you feel about this matchup, other than the fact that it's probably going to be taking a while for us to finish?
Definitely going to be taking a while to finish, but it seems like Emiya is hanging a little bit. LightBringer seems pretty okay for me. But yeah, the stream, by the way, is taken directly from the player's feed, and some of them do not have the best of connections. So regardless, I'm actually going to try and switch the screen over. So give me a while to do that.
Yep,
and
sure.
And it does seem like it's a priest versus paladin sticking down low. Maybe Katips can let us know in the background what's actually happening.
Yeah, pretty much so. Lightbringer's thinking about putting down Sylvanas Windrunner. Of course, there's a Akanai Soul Priest already in play for Emiya, and he is going to try and control the board a little bit. And the thing is about this matchup, it really does take a long time. Even when I play this matchup as a paladin myself, it really ends up usually in fatigue wars, because paladin has a lot of stuff to heal himself. He usually has a single Guardian of Kings. Sometimes they run Holy Light, and just that amount of defense from all of the taunt minions, like the value of Sludge Belcher, it just makes it a little bit harder. And then Control Priest, of course, runs a lot of course it has its own heal, has a lot of board clear potential with Circle of Healing with Akanai Soul Priest. And of course, in the late game, there's a lot of control as well. And yeah, it really becomes a bit of a slugfest pretty much, and then it turns into fatigue wars, and then the games just last forever. And then most of these priests also, they get because of the control meta at the moment, when they do a Thought Steal, they get some nice minions, and they use that against their opponents. They also run usually a Mind Control again. It's actually both good and frustrating to see Mind Control again in the meta. When it's really frustrating, especially like from a paladin. If you end up in turn 10 and you don't bring down Tyrion, the priest is usually saving the Mind Control just for that moment when you put down Tyrion, you think you're safe, and then takes it away.
Yeah, pretty crazy. So other than that, Tyrion's on the board, as you mentioned. What else is happening?
And yeah, so Sylvanas just came down for Emiya. He's probably going to make a move for that Tyrion. See if he can try and get rid of the Soul Priest, of course, to reduce the chances of Sylvanas getting that. And he's just going to heal up, and let's see what LightBringer has in... I'm predicting that there's a Spellbreaker going to go down for Sylvanas just to make sure that Tyrion stays in the proper corner. So we are now actually going into turn 9 now for LightBringer. So he has possibly two options. He can go both Spellbreaker for Sylvanas, or he can just nullify her with... Oh wait, actually, that's a mistake. Tyrion is just gonna kill her. Yeah, I'm thinking Spellbreaker just to keep Tyrion on his side, and maybe run the Akanai into the... Yeah, so that's exactly what he did. He ran the Akanai into the Undertaker just to be able to clear the board, and Tyrion's bubble has been popped, and he now has a full taunt board. Emiya, of course, still at 21 health, still a lot of survivability, so let's see what he's going to be putting down.
Alright, so I switched the board around, and now LightBringer is on the right side, also known as the bottom board. We are seeing from his perspective, Emiya is lagging really badly, but I think he is definitely gonna be okay in a while. So let me try and get his feet back up.
So thinking, of course, this is going to be, as we mentioned earlier, this is going to be a long game. Lots of thinking, just trying to get control back onto the board. Lightbringer, of course, having a very solid board. Ysera's going to come down for Emiya, going to give him a few more cards. I'm not actually can't see what Ysera gave him, but I don't know if you can see it from your.
Ysera Awaken.
Ysera Awaken. Okay, pretty good. So that's going to be some nice board clear for later on, and. Lightbringer thinking about it, both equalities in hand. He does have the equality Wild Pyromancer combo that could come in useful for later. He's just going to run Tyrion into Ysera. He wants that dragon dead. And he gets Lightbringer, of course. And he's going to swing for the face of Emiya. So Sludge Belcher still on the board. And he has used up one of his equalities. And of course, Sludge Belcher, we mentioned it the last time we were casting Babael that Sludge Belcher is one of our favorite next cards just because from the pure value that it gives you for defense. 2 taunts, nullifies TBK pretty much. And Emiya using the equality against Lightbringer with the Holy Nova. Gonna power up his own Injured Blade Master as well.
Yeah. This is okay. This is pretty interesting because we've seen some really big cards being played. We've seen Ysera, we've seen some King Bloodhoof coming down as well. Even Tyrion Fort Ring, and this is just a really exciting game. I'm really sorry we can't bring you the early part of this, but it does seem like the priest is in a little bit of trouble. There's still the mind control. What do you think is going to control here?
Well, Karen's going to be the most value, I think. Now in it's turn 10. Guardian of Kings, of course, can be removed. It doesn't have the follow up to Death Rattle, but. Lightbringer now, of course, taking control, big control of the board. 8 health left, so he has to be. Emiya definitely has to make a move. Doesn't have the health to sustain with all of these minions on the board. So let's see. Do you see? Are you able to see Emiya's hand? What does he have?
Yeah, he has pretty good stuff. Zombie Chow, Mind Control is there, like I said, and maybe I didn't tell you, but yeah, Mind Control is there, and even King Blood. The real problem is I don't think he can actually survive this turn.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it. Because with one more charge in Lightbringer, that's just not enough to stay alive, especially if he's going to be taking Cairn. That's still 5 damage on the Guardian of Kings, 7 on the board, 5 in hand. It's going to be difficult for him to come back.
Oh, and he goes down just like that. So 1-0 up for Lightbringer already. Pretty quick game there.
Yep. Surprisingly quick for a Paladin versus Priest, so that is good to see. Quick games between these two. So
alright.
The winner keeps the same deck, is that correct?
No, same class. But by the way, we're going to restart the stream, so we'll be back in a while.
Okay, sure.
Okay, but the recording's still live though, so we should continue that part at least. And yeah, so we have with us the second game, and it seems like it's going up well on the way here. And this is, by the way, the first game does go to Lightbringer already. Emiya is down by 1 game. What do you think Emiya's chances are right now in this situation?
So for this next one, he's going to be playing his Paladin as well. So Paladin versus Paladin, of course, that depends on the kind of deck. I'm expecting he's going to be playing a similar control deck. It's going to be even, of course. It's going to be down to who has the correct cards at the correct time. Whoever pulls the equality combo first, maybe. Whoever gets Tyrion down first, maybe. So let's see. It's really about Paladin versus Paladin. It's going to be about who can snowball the fastest and who can get value from equality, pretty much. So yeah. It's really whoever has full board control at the best time. So what's Emiya's hand looking like? So we have Acolyte of Pain and Wild Pyromancer already in the hand of Lightbringer, and a Black Knight tech card, of course. Yeah. How is Emiya's hand looking?
Sludge Belcher, Spellbreaker, Truce of a Champion, as well as the Wild Pyromancer. So pretty good control there.
Yeah, pretty good control indeed. And Lightbringer, I think, wants to get some. Well, he's thinking about Shade of Noxoramus, of course. I honestly think he should go for Acolyte of Pain. There you go. just to get some nice card draw. It's not turn 4 yet, so True Silver Champ isn't going to come out to wipe him out in a single hit. He could possibly get at least 2 cards from his Acolyte of Pain, especially with tokens on the board now for Emiya. Yeah, so again, we have to apologize a little bit for our viewers. We are dependent on the connections of our players that we are streaming, so if it's a little bit slow, you have to forgive us. We're working with the same speed as well for the stream.
Right,
so Shade of Nyxramus goes down for Lightbringer, and he is Emiya is gonna be popping the True Silver Champion. Probably wants to get rid of that Acolyte of Pain as soon as possible. Don't want to give too much value for that. And there goes Acolyte of Pain.
Right,
so how are the next few turns looking for Emiya? I'm expecting Sludge Belcher's gonna come down sometime soon.
Same. I'm expecting turn 5 Sludge Belcher. That's like more or less a default turn 5 play in his position. And what I think he really needs here is control once again. This is a Paladin, coin toss situation, and it's nice to see these classes coming out once again in the post Leeroy nerf meta, which is really, really good, and even Kel'Thuzad for Lightbringer. Wow.
Yeah, Kel'Thuzad, of course, very, very annoying if you have a good setup like a Sludge Belcher in play or like a Cairn, and then Kel'Thuzad comes down. That's going to be quite difficult to deal with. And again, he does have those Shades of Nyxramus just growing in the background, and Emiya has to really get the combo of quality Consecrate combo to be able to clear those. Otherwise, that's just going to be like a mini Savage Roar Force of Nature combo for Lightbringer. At the right time, when they grow to a sufficient size, he's just going to attack with them and clear the board somehow. And Sludge Belcher looks like it's going to go down for Lightbringer just to have some sort of defense. I'm expecting possibly Sylvanas next turn, or just setting up a way for Kel'Thuzad to get on the board and get some value from the minions, from the Taunters especially. Yeah. So how is Emiya's chances looking going into turn 6 and turn 7?
I think he doesn't really have anything going into turn 6. There is the Black Knight that could kill the Sludge Belcher for turn 6, but even then there is a second Sludge Belcher in the hand for Lightbringer, so there is nothing much you can do. But he just top deck Eldor Peacekeeper, so maybe that's gonna help him. But there is double Shades on the board, and he needs the board control as soon as he can.
Definitely.
He needs to try. We all know for sure that the Shade, probably Lightbringer is gonna run one Shade to kill off the 3/5. The other Shade is probably not gonna show itself. All Emiya needs here is really just equality, and he's gonna wreck so hard. But the problem, like I said, is the fact that he cannot really go through to taunt, and even if he can, it's minimal damage. So that much is going in favor for Lightbringer.
Yeah, that's right. And of course, this is a Paladin deck. You have to have Lay in Hands in there somewhere, so possibly a Holy Light, and of course one Guardian of Kings, as is for the meta for a control warrior, control paladin at the moment. So it's very difficult. You at best you can start pinging away at your opponent, but it's really when you're playing against paladin, you really just don't want him to snowball his taunters. You don't want him to snowball his big minions, especially if something like a Kel'Thuzad comes down. That's going to be quite difficult. 6/8 is nothing to sneeze at, so you have to balance now the timing of when you play Equality Consecrate and then expecting the bigger minions towards the end and how to deal with those, because 6/8 is not a small minion as far as Kel'Thuzad goes, and if you waste your equality early to clear the board, I mean, Emiya has not done it yet, but here comes Peacekeeper now.
Both Shades are gone, but it does seem like they do bring some pretty good trade for Lightbringer. And he does have Guardian of Kings here, so healing up is one thing he can do for sure. And the other few things they could do is also play Sludge Belcher or even, the Windrunner. But playing the Windrunner here is not really going to be in his favor because there's always good ways to clear it up. Playing Sludge Belcher is fine. What do you think you should go for?
I would have gone either with Sludge Belcher or a Guardian of Kings just to get his health up and put a 5/6 on the board. But of course, Sludge Belcher, I don't think there's any bad reason to play a Sludge Belcher unless you're against the stacked board. But always good value for Sludge Belcher. Almost always a guaranteed 2-for-1. So I think that's pretty good. Unfortunately, Black Knight has to follow the rules, so not really going to be effective except as a token killer. But yeah. Turn 8, Kel'Thuzad can come down. If Sludge Belcher survives this turn and Kel'Thuzad comes down, that's going to be a really big problem for Emiya because the clearing is going to start slowing down. And as long as Kel'Thuzad remains in play, and unless Emiya gets his own Wild Pyromancer Equality or Equality Consecrate combo, it's gonna be difficult moving forward for him.
Yeah, it definitely is going to be difficult. And that said, Sylvanas here should be a pretty good play for Emiya.
Yeah, Sylvanas always. I mean, it's a decent play at turn 6 and moving forward, especially if there are quality minions on the board, like possibly a Sludge Belcher. But at the moment, on the side of Lightbringer, there's nothing really that can kill Sylvanas. So at best, Emiya is just slowing down Lightbringer a little bit. So, what do you think about this? How would you deal with this Sylvanas at the moment that's on the play for Emiya?
I think, well, they could always silence it, but there is no silence in his hand.
Yeah, that's right. Silence, of course, always the best option, but would you True Silver Champion and then run the token into it, and then, the Black Knight, and then hope that the token gets taken?
I think that's fine. I think, yeah, that's a pretty okay play, but Black Knight is basically just token killer right now. Yeah. Not much value in that.
So you could also take the... You could... I don't know. There's no way to buff Sludge Belcher, so it's out of the range of Sylvanas. Let's see. So... Okay, so Sludge Belcher is gonna go for the follow the rules. Black Knight as well. So it looks like Lightbringer is just gonna try and clear out his board to make way for Sylvanas. And still thinking about his play. He's about to get rope burned. And that's the end of his turn. He just... So managed to clear Sylvanas and maintain his board. That is pretty good. So he still keeps a charge off of his True Silver Champion. Emiya has one of the same. And again, we are about on turn... we're on turn 9 now for Lightbringer. And Emiya, despite not having board control, still has a full stack of 30 health. Lightbringer is down to 20 still, despite having board control most of the time. And a lot of options now available to him. I have a feeling that Guardian of Kings is gonna come down just to get some sort of control. Karin also is a valuable option, just to have a little bit of value. So Karin into maybe Tazdingo gonna go down, just to add more taunts on the board.
Well, I think, yeah, you should just set up some good line of defense here. But of course, we do see the Kel'Thuzad in the hand for Lightbringer. So Kel'Thuzad there really is just gonna help him just get insane value. But I think the real challenge is knowing when to play that, because you have some insane board clear mechanic from just the Paladin, and that's something that you don't want to have to face against.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, or your Kel'Thuzad dying to just the board clear mechanic coming out. I think it's pretty crazy to even think about losing a big minion to just a simple board clear that costs 4 mana. So I think it's something that is definitely on the mind of Lightbringer. He's just trying to bait out the board clear mechanic, which is why you see Double Shades out early, which is why you see some pretty heavy Death Rattle minions out very early. They're all a little sticky, and they're all really just baiting Emiya's board clear. But what he doesn't know is that Emiya don't really have those board clear mechanic that we really wish to see yet. Yeah,
that's right. So I think Lightbringer is just cautiously trying to put down as much value minions as he can, something like maybe a Tazdingo or a Sylvanas, and then try and set up his Kel'Thuzad. But he really has to... I'm pretty sure he's just keeping in mind that a quality can come down at any time and wipe out his setup. So I think that's really what's bothering him and preventing him from going for like a big play.
Yeah, which I think is really just gonna be pretty troublesome to deal with. 1-4 is there, and the 5-6 is also on the board for Lightbringer. Humility is gonna come out here, so that means it's gonna be a 1-6. A lot of token killers here for Lightbringer.
Yeah, that's right. Emiya has been getting a good value from both of his Elder Peacekeepers, and now Humility. And Lightbringer just hasn't been able to make in any offensive threat because of all of these control cards coming down for Emiya. So despite the fact that Emiya can't is still, I mean, doesn't have the combo in his hand, and also hasn't had board control pretty much the whole game, he's still pretty much in a good spot. He has more cards at the moment than Emiya in the deck, it looks like. A little bit of a card deficit, but he's getting the good plays from the stuff like Humility and the Elder Peacekeeper. So Lightbringer just with a bunch of one attack minions, it really can't make any sort of difference at the moment as far as damaging Emiya. I just get the feeling that Lightbringer is just waiting to set up something like a taunt into Kel'Thuzad combo. So what's is there anything juicy left in the hand of Emiya that can make him that can give him some sort of board control at the moment?
Nah, I don't think there's anything at all here that he could do. In fact, it seems like the stuff it's just not really working out for him. He needs a top deck, and he needs the top deck to be good. If not, his minions just gonna be traded very unfavorably, and that's something that I think he cannot really do. And right now, there is just a lot of things that there's just a lack of cards, then he's gonna slowly lose out on those minions. He's gonna lose a lot of value. And you can see Lightbringer really still has got a card draw, or rather the card advantage in terms of hand.
Yep, that's right. Lightbringer also has the combo in his hand. He has the both Wild Pyromancer Equality and Equality Consecrate. He also has two good finishers in hand. He has Sylvanas and Kel'Thuzad. Definitely, I think he wants to see Kel'Thuzad next turn, just to be able to have Karin die and come back with Bane and another Karin, thanks to Kel'Thuzad. And of course, Sylvanas on the board with Kel'Thuzad is also going to be pretty scary. So Emiya definitely needs an answer sometime sooner. It's just going to get whittled down, and Lightbringer is just going to snowball once Kel'Thuzad comes down. And I think this is it. Kel'Thuzad going to come down, and Karin going to go for the token to get two 4/5s in play, as well as regain his Karin. That's going to be quite difficult for Emiya to come back from now. So yes,
really, because it's like 5 mana left on my side, and he didn't play that. He played the Acolyte of Pain.
Okay.
You're talking about Lightbringer, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Okay.
Kel'Thuzad is not.
That lagged out for me. I thought he was gonna play for Kel'Thuzad. Anyway, Acolyte of Pain comes down. I don't know. I think Lightbringer's being a little bit too cautious now. I think he should have gone for Kel'Thuzad and then running Karin into the token, just so he has 2 4/3s, just to maybe bait out another Equality, and it's not going to get much value since he's going to have 2 Karins already. I mean, or 2 4/5s rather. What do you think? Do you think Acolyte of Pain was the correct move?
Yeah, for sure. Simply because there is still the buckler mechanic that's still not seen yet, and you rather play safe. I mean, there is nothing here that Emiya really is doing. All he's doing is just using all the Eldor Peacekeeper, the Humility to try and control the damage as much as possible. There's also some healing factor that Emiya did play. And if you look at it, it's really just about lay on hands, getting the card factor back in, getting the hand size back up. But at the end of the day, there is still no threat coming from Emiya's side. You know, this is not... Uther is just not one of the most exciting guys. In Hearthstone, he is just not very bursty. It's not like the one-hit wombo combo kind of a deck, so you don't really have to feel pressure to play that. If you play something big, just play something bigger. If you Eldor, you can still deal with it. Plus, we have to remember that there is the bot play mechanic in hand for Lightbringer. So Lightbringer is feeling pretty safe right now. There's no real need to try and, go all in. I've heard stories of people playing Ragnaros on turn 5 with double Innovate, and then people faceless the Ragnaros and then they lose the game after that. So, and this is a competitive play, by the way. So,
That's right.
yeah.
And I'd like to remind myself that these are legend players and I'm not a legend, so they're probably making the more correct decisions than me. So Lightbringer is going to bring down Tyrion, and I think that's good. That can definitely bait out an Equality. If anything, that should bait out an Equality. And Emiya has to start thinking about that's a 6/6 with the Ashbringer, of course, Death Rattle. And
this is really just a big bait. This shows that here is where you try your very best to pop the bubble, but he's not even gonna do that yet. Oh man, this is to me a big misplay. But okay, yeah, not that it really matters, but yeah, it's fine. I thought it's a big misplay because if he doesn't want to use equality there, he should have just popped into this engine. But now, still pretty fine. But that means that we're gonna have absolutely no board presence for Lightbringer, and he doesn't want to play Kalthazard now. So he's thinking in the back of his mind, that's one Wild Paramancer gone. I need one more gone, or rather, I need one more equality gone. And yeah, the turn still drags on, and 9 cards left here for Lightbringer, about 8 left for Emiya. They're gonna go into Fatigue Wars, man, for sure.
yeah, definitely. It's looking that way. I mean, they're both Emiya still 30 and Lightbringer still 27. Who knows how long this is gonna go? So it's pretty much just been a battle of board control and board defense. Emiya, of course, getting some value from Elder Peacekeeper early on. Lightbringer, unfortunately, has his board cleared with the first equality from Emiya. Is that his first or is that his second already?
Equality, I think it's his first. Yeah, he had such a bad hand. But that might be the saving grace for him here. If not, he would have been in a really bad shape. But that said, without humility, here comes the 5/5 sticky woman that really everyone just loves to hate.
Yeah. Sylvanas, of course, very, very good board control since you have to... it pretty much changes your game plan. Whenever Sylvanas comes down, it changes your game plan. Wow, and equality. Then Ashbringer gonna get put in the museum. 2 cards for Emiya, and the card advantage, it looks like, and a 5/4 on the board. So, what was the draw from Harrison?
He gets equality and consecrate.
Okay, so he has the combo again.
Yeah, consecration, equality, they're really, really good cards. And a lower thab, man, but this is gonna be a really big board wipe, I think.
That's gonna be good if the combo is in hand for a Lightbringer.
He can also, okay, there is no real need for him to play, a really expensive combo. I think he can play Kodo here to kill the 1/2, and then the 5/5 to run into lower theft. He steals Harrison. End of the day, it's still a good trade for Lightbringer because Sylvanas is just such a sticky woman.
Yep. Or run Sylvanas into Harrison to get the 5/5 Lotheb.
Yeah, that's fine as well if he wants 1 extra health, which I think it's pretty fine. And all those greetings happening, and Emiya down to 5 cards, and Kalthazard for Emiya comes out. Oh my god, the synergy is just way off. It's not really going well in favor for Emiya here.
Yep, that's right. So I think that should be a signal for Lightbringer to see that that's a desperation play, pretty much. If you're playing, it actually hasn't showed up on my screen yet, but if you're playing Kalthazard raw, then it pretty much tells you that he doesn't have anything else to combo it with, and it's a desperation play just to put a 6/8 body on the board. And Lightbringer, of course, still having a ton of options in his hand. Spellbreaker, he still has his combo, and yeah. So Tyrion's gonna come down for Emiya. I think that's a pretty good defense for now. Spellbreaker, ooh, that's gonna be some nice spell breaking for Lightbringer. And that's just gonna nullify the whole effect of Tyrion. Looks like there's gonna be a board clear now for Lightbringer. Just get rid of all the bodies on the board, and we are basically walking our way into Fatigue Wars. And yeah, so board clear looks like it's just gonna go down for Lightbringer, just trying to maintain control of the board as we go into overtime into Fatigue Wars. Still nothing starting for Emiya at all, despite getting some despite getting some good starts with Humility and Eldar Peacekeeper. He just doesn't have anything to get anything started for him. Emiya and Lightbringer both close to full health, and just nothing going. Lightbringer has had an answer for all of the defense that Emiya has had, and has had full board control the entire game. Yeah. So how's Emiya? Is there any hope left for Emiya with this dwindling?
Any hope left? Yes, there is still some hope left for sure. There is still the wild power equality combo, which is gonna be the second one. Is left with just a few cards. It's really up to Kalthazard, and whatever that's left in the deck for the last 4 cards, it should be some good minions. As long as one of those minions survive one turn, I think Emiya can still come back in terms of getting the tempo back. But this is a pretty exciting game, and now it looks like everything is kind of forced out here. Emiya don't really have a choice. He's gonna have to burst off the second equality. The good news is he can still play Kane Bloodhoof, which means the Kane Bloodhoof, sorry, which means that he can still play Kalthazard the next turn.
Yep, that's right.
But we have to always remember there's still the equality pyromancer from what LightBringer. And
Yeah, I was just about to say that LightBringer still has all of the removals in his hand. He hasn't even drawn a second equality yet, and that's pretty good on his side. And Emiya, I have to point out, Emiya has fewer cards in his library left, in his deck left, and one good combo and to clear his board, and he's just gonna plain run out of options, and we go into Fatigue Wars with not much Emiya can do once he runs out of cards. So Lightbringer now thinking about Kel'Thuzad. Nope, you token first. Holy Light, not really good card to play at the moment. So okay, Kel'Thuzad is gonna go down. With the only target for it so far, 1 token, and Emiya now has a Tazdingo on his side. Nothing started yet. Any options in his hand? For
in
Emiya?
whose hand?
In Emiya.
Emiya? No, I don't think there's much options in Emiya's hand right now.
So Kel'Thuzad gonna go down as well. That's pretty good value for the Tazdingo.
Yeah, okay. This is where it gets real. Here, I think this is a good play. This is a good play by Emiya, forcing Kel'Thuzad to come out from Lightbringer. Because here, if Lightbringer puts off the bot control, bot clear mechanic, he's gonna lose whatever advantage he had. You know, unless he plays Equality Consecration, then yes, there is still a way he could. Yeah, there we go. Equality Consecration. But that means that Kel'Thuzad is just down to 6-1. It can easily be removed. The real question is, can Emiya get a spell now? Because he does have 1 Wild Pyromancer, but no spells yet. Oh, Sludge Belcher is really not gonna work for him here.
Yeah.
Well, then again, it could just buy him some time, but he's down to just 2 cards in his library.
Yeah. Definitely looks like we might hit Fatigue Wars, although Emiya is down to 16 and Kel'Thuzad is still 6 attack with 3 from the Wild Pyromancer, and then of course a 2 damage follow-up from Consecration, and Holy Light is in hand for Lightbringer. So yeah, it's a little bit slow for me. I'm actually just seeing Sludge Belcher now.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so he still has got a few options here, and one of that is playing the Kodo. But then again, Kodo just kills 1 token. It's not really like you want a minion on the board. You know Lightbringer hasn't used his second equality yet, and you know you don't have any equality left. So you're now currently in the mercy, or rather, really just relying on Lightbringer to show you some mercy. And Lightbringer does have Lay on Hands top deck, which really is not gonna help him.
Yeah.
In Fatigue Wars, that's just really bad.
Exactly. You really don't want to cast that anymore at this point in the game. And looks like Lightbringer is just going to start trying to clear the board. He knows he can get his minions back from Kel'Thuzad. So that's pretty good.
Man.
Clearing the
8
entire board of
health.
Emiya.
Yeah, and everything comes back alive. And Emiya with the Faceless. Oh boy, Faceless is interesting. There is not a second Consecration because he just used it. So if you play Faceless here, you can Faceless the 6-1, but the thing is he doesn't have a taunt. You see, if he doesn't have a taunt, he's gonna take 12 damage next turn, and that is something he cannot afford to take. Even if he plays Kodo with that, he can only nullify 1 damage, and that's 11 damage. Emiya is gonna lose the second game, it seems. One button away from concede, thinking again. This is a single elimination tournament once again.
Yep. Is it? This is a best of 3 or a best of 5?
Best of 5. Best of
Best
5.
of 5. Okay, so it's a first of 3. And Emiya on the brink now. I have to point out.
Oh, there we go.
Wild Pyromancer and Equality has been in the hand of Lightbringer, but that's not even going to matter. Emiya's going to give it up, and that is 2-0 in favor of Lightbringer, which leaves, let's see what deck is remaining for Emiya. He is down to Warlock, which I'm expecting to be handlocked for some reason. I just have a feeling. If you're going to be playing Priest and then Paladin, I'm expecting handlock to be the third. What do you think?
Well, I think it could be handlock, but it could also be Zoo. You just need a really good hand here to play against
That's true.
the Paladin. As in, you need the Paladin to have a really bad hand, like badass hand, no equality, equality 4/4 unfound. That's one of the best way possible that you could win a Paladin.
Yeah, that's right. So, based on the mulligan, is it looking like a Zoo or a handlock for Emiya?
It's looking like it's a Zoo.
Okay.
So
we have a fight now. And okay, Lightbringer getting some defense, True Silver Champion, and Equality from his mulligan. If he can get Consecrate as well, that would be perfect. That would be at the right time, maybe around turn 5, turn 6. Proper Consecrate to clear the Zoo's animals, and that pretty much would seal the fate of Emiya. And as long as Lightbringer can start putting up a defense in time for the Doom Guards, they should be pretty good. So Emiya, strong opening hand, Flame Imp, and Void Walker. And of course, top deck for Lightbringer. He's getting the Consecrate and Equality combo. He just needs to hold out just a little bit, get Emiya to overcommit, and then once he clears the board...
Oh shit. Yeah. This is where I think it's over for Zoo. Because this is a standard Zoo. This is not like Death Rattle Zoo where you've got minions that can still come back after Consecration. That don't really care about Consecration. But here, only the Nerubian Egg is something that remotely looks like a Death Rattle Zoo. The rest is pretty standard minion. He's gonna deal some damage, but so what? You know, Lightbringer can always heal up. And I think that this is already overcommitting 5 minions on the board. Only one's gonna come back, and yeah, it's gonna deal sufficient damage. He can Consecrate here. He doesn't even need Equality. Look at that. 5 minions gone, just like that.
And then he had True Silver Champion in his opening hand just to be able to deal with that 4/4 at any time. And another Consecrate, and a taunt comes out for a Lightbringer. So I think he got the perfect hand to pretty much defend against Zoo. Even though he is down to 18 health, I mean, Paladin can take it. He can take the hits. But having another Consecrate in hand, as well as True Silver Champion, as well as... Well, he can put down a taunt now. He can put down, I think he can put down Tazdingo now just as a defense. And then once Emiya has overcommitted more minions, he's just going to go for a second Consecrate, and then that's pretty much GG. So, Emiya, down to 3 cards in hand. He probably wants to tap right now just to get a few more options. He's going to go for Defender of Argus, and oh man, going into turn 6 now for Lightbringer. He does have sufficient mana for Consecrate, Equality Consecrate. Let's see if he goes for it. Definitely. And there goes the entire board of Emiya for the second time in a row. And if Lightbringer can manage to draw a second, maybe a Sludge Belcher or another Taunter, I think that's pretty much game for him. He just has so much defense. Okay, Flame Imp is going to deal 3 more damage to Emiya. And okay, there we go. Top deck again. Lightbringer just so lucky with these draws. He gets both Consecrates from a draw, and now he's going to get Sludge Belcher. Going to put down some decent defense and token for good measure. Emiya pretty much in trouble now, just having to tap himself into low health just to be able to try and get back board control, but Sludge Belcher definitely going to be pretty annoying. And despite Lightbringer being down to 9 health, he does have the Sludge Belcher in play, which is going to be some pretty good defense from something like from a Doom Guard. And I think just a little bit slow for me. But oh man, Lightbringer with the BM already saying sorry.
Man, this is just over. Void Terror. It's not even gonna matter, man. It still yeah, second consecration does go down, but that's because we know Lightbringer knows that he is in a good spot. But you have to look at Emiya. Emiya dealt sufficient damage to Lightbringer. He's down to 9 now. To him, it's now or never. And oh, this is not gonna be enough. 6-4 and equality. Holy cow, banana! That is gonna be enough to kill the 6-4. Can't even silence it, but I will not do that. I would just equality here. I would just equality here. Use the token to kill it. Yeah, I mean, there is no way else the Zoo can come back and into this chase fast. And
I can't believe the luck that Lightbringer had. He had what, 7 good draws in a row. He got both consecrates. He got Sludge Belcher at the perfect time, and now he gets equality as well for his turn 8 draw. Ridiculous. That's ridiculous. This is
big ass stuff. Equality. 1-1's gonna throw to 6-1. Yeah, he saw the plays, thinking about it. You see, and he can just play Sylvanas. See, this is good. Yes, I know Sylvanas is just the fact that people might ignore her, and there is not much value. But this is still one big minion we are talking about, and it could also be a Kane Bloodhoof. But I decided for the 5-5 because he's afraid of stuff that could coming a little bit bigger, like a Doomguard. You could still Doomguard, no problem. So here comes the Lepanome, and oh my god, so far everything going all in. Emiya's tournament life is on the line here. 5 health Lightbringer. Can he get a heal? Eldor Peacekeeper.
Oh my gosh. I think he should just go follow the rules on the 4-4.
Kill the 2-1 with the 5-5, and
yeah.
I'll play True Seven Champion to heal up as well. I think he knows he needs to heal now. One Doomguard top deck, he's done.
So just responding to the chat now, Filipinos looking for their fellow players Staz and Zedkiel, who are playing their first round. And yeah, so Lightbringer's gonna go for your play.
Oh man, he's actually gonna silence the 2-1. Holy cow, this is insane. Oh man, this is thinking about it. Okay, this is what will happen if he silences the 2-1. If he silences the 2-1, he's gonna run a 5-5 into the 4-4. He's gonna run his weapon into 2-1, and that means that he's gonna be at 5 health, but that means top deck Doomguard, and he's done. So the correct play, in my opinion, of course, I'm not a very good player. Alright, Eldor Peacekeeper on the 4-4, run the 5-5 into the 2-1, you get 2 damage, you heal up using the True Civic Champion. Actually, still Doomguard top deck, and he's dead. So I think Emiya just needs Doomguard. Where is the Doomguard? He's gonna silence.
That's still a pretty big deck to draw from. He does have another option with tap. Oh yeah. Gosh, let's see.
Okay. So 5 health, Lightbringer, double consecration, and it's an Argent Squire. First one. It's not the card that he wants to look for. He's got one more chance.
Does he get it?
Still not clicking the tap yet. Still not clicking the tap yet. He definitely will tap. He is definitely gonna tap. He's just praying right now. Give me a Doomguard. I need to stay alive in this tournament. I think if he goes down 0-3, it's really, really bad for him. It's not even gonna tap. He's just gonna pass.
What? Why would you? Is he? That's 13 on the board.
Yeah, that's why he didn't tap.
But then
I think that's why he didn't tap, because he is afraid that if he taps here, it's lethal, which means that he's gonna die. If it's not a Doomguard, he's gonna die. But then if he waits it out, then maybe maybe he can still afford to wait for the next turn. Maybe he gets a Soulfire, and if the 1-1 stays alive, oh, he's gonna get stolen anyway. So he's still gonna take 8 damage, and I think going by his logic, he gets 2 chances instead of 1. But the problem is now Lightbringer is at 7 health. And lower Thap comes out.
Oh boy. I think he should have gone for it.
Okay, if this is a Doomguard that comes out and he tapped last turn, he would have won. Let's check. It's a Shattered Sun Cleric, doesn't matter, right?
Yeah.
And he taps now. Lepano, my god, no luck at all. And Lightbringer advanced 3-0, it seems.
Yep, Lightbringer's gonna advance, and he is gonna be facing the result of Fizdar versus Super Magpies. We are going to be checking on the results and updating the brackets right now. And that is going to be a 3-0 solid play from the Paladin of Lightbringer, being true to his in-game name, I think.
Yeah, great stuff. We're going to be back again just in a short while to give you guys update. But the next series should start in just 20 minutes. So do sit tight, stay tuned, and thank you for watching Hearthstone Southeast Asia. See you guys in a while. I'm Babael, joining me today is Katips, and yep, we're happy to be here.